Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from IPR365.com and PodWeather.com with the latest on the tropics. Hurricane season 2009 ramping up now. We do have three systems of note in the Atlantic. The first one is a tropical depression in the Gulf of Mexico, very, very close to becoming Tropical Storm Claudette. Is expected to move ashore in the Panhandle within the next 12 to 24 hours. We also have Anna still approaching the islands, but not looking too good. And we do still have Tropical Storm Bill, which is approaching hurricane strength out here in the central Atlantic, but some good news with that for land masses further west. Here's the latest on our tropical depression. As of 11 a.m., it was at 28.7 north, 84.6 west. Winds were 35 miles an hour, gusting to 45. It's moving northwest at about 13 miles an hour, 1,011 millibars, so not very intense. Expected to become Tropical Storm Claudette, make landfall along the Panhandle, and then move inland and dissipate. And it's pretty straightforward with the track. If it moves a little bit further west or a little bit further east, that should kind of be irrelevant. It's a very small system, so the wind shouldn't be that big of a problem with it. There's the latest radar out of the Panhandle of Florida, and at the end there you can see the center coming up pretty good on the radar, so by the time you see this update it may well be Tropical Storm Claudette moving directly towards the Panama City, Fort Walton Beach area, so we'll have to watch exactly where landfall occurs, but a lot of heavy rainfall, especially on the right side of the system. And taking a look at the visible satellite as the sun comes up, you can see it was bursting there, and right at the end of the loop you could definitely see the curvature in there and kind of that comma-shaped look as our depression strengthens. So we do have those tropical storm watches and warnings up for the Panhandle. Expect some nasty weather from this one over the next 12 to 24 hours as it continues to progress right on towards the Panhandle of Florida. Now we have another system of note, of course, Tropical Storm Anna, 14.8 north, 55.8 west, 40 miles an hour, gusting to 50, racing due west at 23, 1,005 millibars. In the forecast from the Hurricane Center, it is expected to move through the islands tonight and tomorrow morning, maybe near Guadeloupe, Martinique, and then come into the Caribbean, make landfall in Hispaniola, weaken to a depression, move over Cuba, and then by Friday come on out into the Gulf of Mexico. But looking at this cone, there is certainly a chance, and it may be a pretty good chance if it continues being so weak and so far west, that this could end up maybe missing those land masses and heading further south. Then again, it could also head further north over water. So uncertainty with Anna at this time. Looking at it from a satellite perspective, very, very ill-defined, but still clearly maintaining a spin as it sits there and spins towards the islands with that little cluster of thunderstorms over the top of it. Very dry air, some wind shear, not a very favorable environment for strengthening. The models again do keep it moving west to west northwest, although the current motion you can see is still straight west. So these models could be adjusted southward if that motion were to continue and if Anna stays so weak. Then there's Bill, Tropical Storm Bill as of 11 a.m., 12.1 north, 38.4 west. Winds were up to 60, gusting to 70. It's moving west-northwest now at 16. 997 millibars. Bill is forecast to become a hurricane within the next 24 hours, and then a major hurricane, and then start to make a move. It looks now with the motion that there will be a weakness in the ridge as a trough sweeps up, and that should allow what will be Hurricane Bill to sweep up to the north. Now, whether or not it does that to the east of Bermuda or to the west of Bermuda, or if it impacts Bermuda, there's always the chance maybe it could still impact the northernmost islands as a major hurricane, and there is always the chance that Bill could get left behind and maybe head back west. That is unlikely. It does look like Bill at this time will not be a threat to the United States, other than in the way of high surf, but again, the islands here, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and even the East Coast, you still need to keep an eye on Bill because this one could mean business because it is expected to become a major hurricane. You can see it there wrapping up pretty nice with the coiling there. Right there is the center. Right around there, there's the good curving features. Definitely trying to become a hurricane at this time, and it looks like Bill will do that. I'd say in the next 10, 12, 18 hours, we could see Hurricane Bill from this. Again, the models have shifted north, except for the UK Met. All the models are in very good agreement that it will miss the islands and begin a turn. But again, Bermuda's right here, and then of course you have the east coast of the U.S. Still have the northern islands and the Bahamas to have to watch this one very carefully. But right now, it is looking much more likely that what will be Major Hurricane Bill will stay out to sea and kind of make a turn. But again, Bermuda may be dead in the crosshairs. Remember, in 2003, Hurricane Fabian smacked them pretty hard. So looking out beyond Bill, there are a few waves leaving Africa. Some of the models indicate we could get development. And with the likelihood of Claudette, and by the time you see this update, it may be Claudette in the Gulf of Mexico, our next storm will be Danny, and we will be waiting to see where Danny will develop and where we can track him. Right now, you can see Bill's definitely the best looking storm out there with very good curved bands, continuing that motion now towards the west-northwest. A little bit better news for the islands. So the bottom line, if you are in Florida, prepare yourself for what will likely be Tropical Storm Claudette in the Florida Panhandle, maybe up to 60 miles an hour. Who knows? Humberto got to hurricane strength. Doesn't look like this one will, but you can never be too sure, so make sure your preparations are in order. And the islands, get ready for some nasty weather from Anna, and we'll see where it goes and if it survives. Those tenacious systems, they always come back to bite us in the butt. And as far as Bill's concerned, a major hurricane likely. Will it impact land? At this point, it's looking less likely. So I'm Mike Naso from IPR. That's the latest on the tropics. I'll see you next time.